Cooper Lutkenhouse was already doing something far bigger. At the 2025 U.S. Outdoor Championships, he lined up against some of the best 800-meter runners in America, Olympians, professionals, veterans, and then shocked everyone by finishing second in 1:42.27. That time didn't just put him on Team USA, it became a world under-18 best, a U20 American record, and one of the fastest times ever run by an American. The craziest part? Cooper later said he wasn't even chasing the record. He was simply trying to place as high as possible. That's what makes Cooper so scary for the rest of the track world. He doesn't race like someone who fully understands how good he already is. He races like someone still discovering his ceiling. Cooper comes from Justin, Texas, where competition shaped him early. His parents, George and Tricia, were both runners, and his father coached track and cross country. At home, Cooper grew up with two older brothers, and that meant everything became a contest. Grades, games, effort, pride. His family described him as intense, aggressive, and always eager to prove he belonged, even when he was younger than everyone else around him. And track was not originally the whole plan. He played multiple sports, including football, basketball, and wrestling. In Texas, football still had a strong pull on him. But over time, his speed became impossible to ignore. By the time he started taking track seriously, his rise was moving fast. In 2024, he ran 1:47.58 as a freshman, breaking the U.S. freshman record. Then he kept improving, lowering his marks again and again until the national high school record itself fell. A major turning point came when coach Chris Capo arrived at Northwest High School. Under Capo, Cooper's talent became more polished. His finishing kick got sharper. His race sense improved. His confidence grew. Cooper has talked openly about how much he trusts his coach, saying that if his coach believed he could run something special, then he believed it too. That trust mattered because the 800 meters is one of the most brutal events in track. Too long to sprint, too short to relax, and often decided by split-second decisions. By the time the U.S. Championships arrived, Cooper wasn't supposed to make the team. On paper, he was just a teenager with promise. In reality, he was something much more dangerous, a fearless racer. He stayed patient through the first lap, trusted his rhythm, and then unleashed his move late. In the final stretch, he flew past elite veterans and crossed the line in second place behind Donovan Brazier. He had just become the youngest American ever to compete in the men's 800 at the World Championships. Suddenly, a kid from Texas was headed to Tokyo, and the entire sport had the same question. Was this just a shocking breakthrough, or the start of something much bigger? Tokyo gave Cooper Lutkenhouse something every rising star eventually faces: reality. After his unbelievable run at the U.S. Championships, the hype around him exploded. He was only 16, but now he was competing on the world stage against athletes with years more experience. At that level, raw talent alone isn't enough. Global championship racing is tactical, ruthless, and unforgiving. One mistake in positioning can end your race before you ever get a chance to kick. At the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, Cooper finished 7th in his preliminary heat in 1:47.68 and failed to advance. It was a harsh result after such a dramatic rise. The same teenager who had stunned America just weeks earlier was now out in round 1. For many young athletes, that kind of loss becomes the moment the dream slows down. But for Cooper, Tokyo looked less like failure and more like education. Instead of fading, he came back better. In 2026, he entered the World Indoor Championships and won the 800-meter gold medal, becoming the youngest individual medalist and champion in indoor world's history. That achievement changed everything. He was no longer just a talented teenager or a future prospect. He was now a real world champion. Then came his Diamond League debut in Stockholm, where he won again. That was another massive statement. The Diamond League is where the sport's biggest names test themselves. Teenagers are not supposed to arrive there and start winning immediately. But Cooper did. And now the idea that he was only a junior-level phenomenon was gone. He was proving that his speed, confidence, and finishing power could translate directly to the highest professional level. Then came the race that truly announced him to the world, Oslo. There, Cooper faced Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the Olympic champion and one of the most dangerous 800-meter runners alive. Cooper tracked him through the first lap, stayed calm, and then made his move with about 200 meters to go. Wanyonyi fought back, and both men charged for the line in a dramatic finish. Cooper won by just 0.01 seconds, 1:42.08 to 1:42.09. At 17 years old, he had just defeated the Olympic champion in a world-leading personal best. World Athletics Olympics. And maybe the most exciting part is that Cooper still talks like someone who believes his best is ahead of him. He stays grounded, he keeps things simple, he focuses on enjoying the process. That sounds humble, but for the rest of the world, it should sound terrifying. Because if he's already a world champion at 17 and still doesn't know his full limit, then how far can this go? Now all eyes move toward Los Angeles 2028. Olympic gold, more Diamond League wins, maybe even a run at one of the hardest world records in track history. So the question now is not whether Cooper Lutkenhouse is special. The real question is, how great can he become?